Was the Apostle Paul the original Antichrist? Former minister and Bible college graduate Jeffrey Daugherty raises this and other staggering questions from the New Testament itself. The Christian Whistleblower asks if Jesus' original message has been warped into a fear and guilt-based control matrix. Here's Ali with more.
Thanks, Seb. Daugherty's 35 years of research challenge everyone to consider new perspectives and ask themselves, just what lies behind my religion? Are we born with original sin or the spark of divinity within?
Deep questions, Ali. Thanks. The Christian Whistleblower. We'll be watching.
Late night in the Heartland. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. T-minus 8 days and counting until the new birth of the American Republic or the death of the American Republic. We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We are keeping the faith, but we are also keeping our eyes open, ladies and gentlemen. And wow, it is what it is. And we'll continue to rock and to roll and make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some great information tonight for you. Tonight we talk about War of the Worlds 2021, the ancient battle for arc technology. Is it continuing? Lots of stuff. Thank you for saying that, Chris. And we've got a lot to get into tonight. Let's jump right into it. And remember, if for some reason you cannot find me, you can always find me at jeffreydaugherty.com, and you can always find information there. And if worst ever came to worst, we would be live streaming directly from there. We're also are over on Facebook right now. They've still let us stay on Facebook, which is rather remarkable, but we're still over on Facebook. As you can hear me switching over there to take a look. Taylor Searley says, what the hell is going on? Tired of being lied to. Yep, I understand. And you just got to keep on keeping on. Over on D Live, Kwai Chang Dave says Nancy was seen running to the gate of Ball in DC. I don't know if that's a joke or if that's true, but that's an interesting question. Where is Nancy? And I'm at jeffreydaugherty.com, jeffreydaugherty.com, and you can always find me there, and you can find Cynthia there as well. So let's talk about the War of the Worlds 2021, the ancient battle for arc technology. Is it continuing? And I'm serious, ladies and gentlemen. I know this is craziness. I know this is wild stuff. I know this is nutty stuff, but we're living in a wild and a nutty, and I still contend a wonderful world. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. Now, we talked yesterday, day before, pretty close. It kind of runs together from time to time. Artie's here, still trying to keep his wife in our prayer, or not our prayers, but our intentions, going through some health challenges. But we talked about the majestic serpents, and you remember I did a show about a book that I had written back in 2017, and we have a different perspective now on who the majestic serpents are. The majestic serpents are not as I previously thought. See, I was still infected with the blood poison, and it just goes to show, even when you're me, if you try to stay connected in any way with the blood poison, you are poisoned. You can't think clearly. You can't see clearly. You cannot understand clearly. So you've got to separate yourself from Christianity. You've got to separate yourself from the blood completely and totally, or you're not getting out of here. You need to have a transfusion. You need to get your blood cleaned, a an unindoctrination transfusion is what you need. So the majestic serpents, they are not a species indigenous to Earth. They were not here first. Verses in the first chapter of Genesis 21-22 that talk about the creative, or the great whales, which translates to majestic serpents. That's misinformation. That is disinformation. If they were here first, it's only because they invaded our realm. And we talked yesterday or the day before, one of those days. You can always go back and check it out. That's why it's good to have the channel. It's always there. And you can always find our replays on Library. You can find us on Odyssey, and you can find us on DLive. I think those are the future. So they invaded through a portal, which I believe was opened up by the Ark of the Covenant with the help of the ancient Hebrews. Look at this for a minute. Look at this picture of the Ark of the Covenant. This just hit me. I'm convinced through my new realizations, ladies and gentlemen. See, I don't have revelations because revelations come from another being to you. I have realizations because they come from my higher mind, picking something up and bringing it to my lower mind. I'm convinced that the Ark of the Covenant is really just a black box, a black cube, sort of like this part down here. And this whole part up here, artistic rendering, or is it? This just hit me. If you are watching the Ark of the Covenant work, if you're watching the Ark of the Covenant work, and you saw a portal being created on the top of the Ark of the Covenant, would you not think that it was the angels ushering in a divine being? So perhaps, ladies and gentlemen, this is what Cynthia was saying to me. So it's not like they showed us. Where'd all the artwork come from? Well, maybe the artwork comes from showing the Ark of the Covenant at work. The black cube. I know it's not black, but it really is. And here's the portal open on top. The angels ushering in a divinity, only it's not a divinity. It is a unclean, unbalanced spirit. I think that's what we're looking at here, folks. I love it when you get a live realization. And Lyman Eric Perrine is ahead of me. He's ahead of me. And he's right. So they invaded via a portal, which was generated by the Ark of the Covenant, right on top of the Ark of the Covenant. And it's called the mercy seat. And it's also said they put blood down there. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. In order to get the portal to open, you got to put blood on the top of the Ark of the Covenant. That's why they did it on the Day of Atonement, because they put blood up there. That was the only day of the year that the Ark actually got blood on it. Oh, it's all coming together now. The blood on top of the Ark of the Covenant caused the portal to open up. It was chum for the sharks. Wow. And it was done with the help of the ancient Hebrews. And Hebrew, as we saw last night, actually means one from the other side, or one who crossed over, showing that the Hebrews have now become completely amalgamated with this invading race, so that you can't tell the two apart. In fact, they're really one together now. They are the ones who crossed over. They are the ones from the other side. This invading race and the ancient Hebrews, who no one knew who they were anyway, it's all the same. So the majestic serpents and the ancient Hebrews have amalgamated, and they are the Zio dominions that invaded our realm from another realm via a portal generated by the Ark of the Covenant. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Artie says the show just begun and it already belongs in the Hall of Fame. It does. This is amazing. That's a great realization. Here's your regular old black cube. And here is the generated portal. Wow. The majestic serpents are the Zio dominions, and they've been totally engulfed. And whomever the ancient Hebrews were, they have been assimilated. They have been assimilated, ladies and gentlemen. So moving right along. Wow, that's amazing. Let's talk about Moses, the ancient Hebrews, and the Ark of the Covenant. Moses is the one that invited the Zio dominions into our realm. And the story that Moses was an ancient Hebrew raised by the Egyptians is disinformation. Everything you've been told about Moses is not true. In fact, Moses probably wasn't real, but even the story is a lie because Moses was not a Hebrew. Moses was an Egyptian. And are you ready for this? The Egyptians were Aryans. And I know you're not supposed to say that word anymore. I know that word is supposedly a bad word now. I know that every single person on the planet that is not Aryan can be proud of their race and brag about their race and be called exactly what they want to be called. But those of us that do have Aryan blood, we're not supposed to say anything, and we're supposed to be shy and retiring, and we're not supposed to upset anybody else. Too damn bad. Too damn bad. We are Aryans. And there's a lot of us that are Aryans, even if we're not light-haired and light-eyed and light-skinned. That's right. Aryan is more than a race. Aryan is a grace. Aryan is a place in the heart and the mind of a man or a woman that will not be satisfied with anything less than living divinely, sovereignly, and freely. If you desire to live divine, sovereign, and free, you're an Aryan, and you're my brother. You're my sister. But Moses was an Aryan, and I'm going to upset some of you, and the Egyptians were Aryans, and Moses sold out his people. If you want to have an interesting study, pull up some of these pictures that I just pulled up. What you see here are light-haired and blue-eyed Egyptians. And then you have light hair and blue-eyed pharaohs. Jeff, what are you saying? I'm saying that the pharaohs, the first pharaohs, Upper Egypt, oldest dynasties, were light-skinned, blue-eyed. The original pharaohs were light-skinned and blue-eyed. It's just the way it is. As Egypt went on, the lower kingdom, later times, there became pharaohs that were not light-eyed and light-haired. But let's say there was a lot of cultural interaction between light-haired, light-eyed people in Egypt and dark-haired, dark-eyed people in Egypt, which created, well, there's an old saying. Let me modify it a little bit. Fact of the matter is, in Egypt, there was a lot of Aryans in the woodpile, if you know what I mean. Cynthia asks, so many paintings of light and dark-skinned Egyptians reset. Yes, excellent. I'd love to talk to Pharaoh about this because I know he wouldn't believe me, but I got the receipts. So the point of the matter is, Pharaoh says all the Egyptian pharaohs were black. Well, he's right, but not all. I'm saying that the oldest dynasty Egyptians were white, and I'm right. But anyway, we're going to move on. France did dream up Egyptology. Moses was an Egyptian. The Egyptians were Aryans. Moses was an Aryan, and Moses sold out his people. And Moses knew what the ark could do. Moses was trained in the story. Moses was trained in all the secret knowledge and the archaic wisdom of the Aryan Egyptians. And Moses, whose face was white as snow, thank you, Moses understood all their technology, including the Ark of the Covenant. And somewhere along the line, Moses was identified as not having the moral temperament to be a ruler. And look at those horns. Moses was identified as not having the moral temperament to be a ruler, and he knew this meant that he was not going to be king. He was not going to be the leader. So what Moses did was he stole the ark technology and he fled to the ancient Hebrew peoples who were low-minded, probably subhuman humans. I know I'm going to get in trouble. And he played the deliverer. He was the first BLMer, the first Antifa. And he was a traitor, Moses was. Moses was a traitor. History knows this, and this is why Michelangelo represented Moses with horns like a devil. Do you know what Moses means? It means drawn out or drawn away. Moses was drawn away or drawn out from his people out of avarice and desire for power and gain. That's why he's depicted as having horns, because he is and was a traitor, but again, he wasn't real. It's a lesson for us, ladies and gentlemen. So are you with me so far? The Ark of the Covenant is just a box. The whole angel thing on top is emblematic of the portal that it opens up. And angels have always been messengers, so it's a delivery system. I'm teaching you some great stuff. No, Can Rusty. I'm teaching you some great stuff. And then Moses found out he wasn't going to be the HAIC. He wasn't going to be the head Aryan in charge. He wasn't going to be it. So he stole the technology. And he took it to these other people that he knew he could gather up around him as a force, and he played the deliverer. He was drawn out. He was drawn away from his people for want of power and gain and avarice. He was a traitor. That's why he's presented with horns by Michelangelo. Raiders of the Lost Ark, truth. That's what we are tonight. That's what we become. My realization is that the ark did not look like the artistic renderings want us to think it did. But I've had another realization since I had that realization. My realization is that the ark didn't look like this. It looked like this, only more like that. And if you look at these, there's similarities already, isn't there? Aren't there? There's similarities in shape. There's similarities in artistic rendering. And the top of this looks exactly like the top of that, ladies and gentlemen. You can go ahead and tell me how damn good I am, because I really am damn good. I'll take it. I'll take it. Mr. Akil Wills, license plate says HNIC-7. I love it. That's funny. If you look at this and you look at that, you can see it's the same damn thing. And remember this part up here, this is the portal opening. It's an artistic rendering of what happens when the ark is in the business of doing business. Wow. The ark was simply a black cube. And remember, the ark is a device, not a decoration. Now we understand it much better. And the Exodus story, ladies and gentlemen, is a cover story. It didn't really happen. It's just a cover story. And Moses, the turncoat Aryan, led the rebels against the Aryan kingdom of Egypt. And because he had the ark technology, he was able to at least temporarily defeat them or disable them so that he could escape with the people and with the ark technology. And as you look at this technology, supposedly splitting waters, so dry land, keep that in mind. And do you notice that, and these plagues, the plagues on Egypt, and we'll talk about those are all produced via the ark technology, not by the Zio Dominion God. I'm sorry, Christians, but your pathetic little God didn't do those things. The ark technology did, and he just took credit for it. And you know how there's controversy now? Did Pharaoh's headpiece have just the bird, or did Pharaoh's headpiece have the snake? I don't know if it's a Mandela effect or not, but I do know that that snake showing up when this type of information is coming out is very emblematic of the showing that Moses was a traitor. Moses was the serpent. Moses was the snake of Egypt. Moses was a traitor and a bad guy. And he wasn't real. This is just the story, ladies and gentlemen. Please do like the video or thumbs down the video. We're up to 5 thumbs down. We're on a roll. We've only got 78 thumbs up and over 400 people in here. What up? Let's get busy. Now, as I look at the plagues on Egypt, and I look at the other Bible plagues from Genesis chapter 2 or Genesis chapter 1 between verses 1 and 2, I look at the other plagues, and I made myself notes because I knew I would probably need them. I look at the plagues of Exodus 7 through 10. Those were the plagues on Egypt. I look at the trumpets in Revelation 8. I look at the vials and bowls of Revelation 16, and I think, it sounds similar to me. It sounds similar to me. The plagues on Egypt, bloody waters. That also appears, ladies and gentlemen, in the Revelation. And it appears in all of them. That's crazy. The frogs are kind of unique, but you've always got locusts and flies. You got different types of insects. Death of livestock. What happens when the sun scorches? Of course, livestock dies. You got boils. You got sores. You got heat. You got death of livestock. You got darkness. You got signs in the skies. You got killing the firstborn. You got livestock dying. You got locusts. You got killings. You got signs in the sky. Folks, it sounds very similar to me. It sounds like the same stuff happening. Only one person is telling a fuller story. It's like getting, back when there really was reporters that just reported about the news, it's like getting reports from 2 different newspapers saying the same thing. Only 2 different reporters reporting the same event are naturally going to report some things that some didn't, and they're going to say things that some won't, and they won't say things that some did. What's the lesson? The lesson is, what if Genesis 1, between Genesis 1 and 2, verse 1 and 2, what if the Exodus and the assault on Egypt, what if Revelation, what if it's all the same event? What if it's all the very same event, just told a few different times? And that would mean it's already happened. And the prophets are fooling you. But you can't fool somebody that's not a fool. If you are taking that personally, it's not me. It's thee. Who were these ancient Hebrews who are now the Ziodominians? We're told in Genesis 2 that the Lord God, that's the rat bastard, that he formed man out of the dust of the ground, and he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. We already know that in Genesis chapter 1, verses 25, 26, 27, that's where Aryan man was created. That is the record, at least in the script, of our creation, of the creation of the high Aryan being by the divinity. And that's the only record of the creation of the high Aryan human by divinity that's in that silly script. Genesis chapter 2 is a creation, but it's not a creation of Aryans. It's not a creation of high man. Let's call it high man, and not high like token toker, but high man, lofty man. Let's call it high man. Let's call it air man, Aryan, air man. Was made by the divine in Genesis chapter 1. Whoever this was in Genesis chapter 2, it's a subhuman creation. It's not as high and lofty as the Aryan. That's why it's subhuman. It's sub-Aryan. And these are the ancient ones that are now forever amalgamated with the Ziodominians. They are inseparable now, both practically and genetically. Both practically and genetically. So Genesis 1, Aryan man, high man. Genesis 2, sub-man, low man. Out of the dirt and dust and mud. Where Genesis 1 was spirit begetting spirit. What are you, ladies and gentlemen? I didn't ask you, like Michael, it don't matter if you're black or white. We're not doing that tonight. What matters is if you're high or low. Are you yearning to be divine, sovereign, and free? Well, then you might be an Aryan. If you want to be divine, sovereign, and free, you might be an Aryan. If you don't want to be divine, sovereign, and free, if you're comfortable in the fear and guilt, blood magic, mind control matrix, then maybe you're just a mud man or a mud girl. If you want to be divine, sovereign, and free, then you might be an Aryan. If you don't, then you're not. And this would explain, as Tracy chimes in, how it's like two realities. Because the high Aryan mind sees the high, the possibility, the optimism, the good, the possibility. The Aryan man or woman sees the light. The low human doesn't even have the capacity in order needed to even take it in. That's why no matter how much work we do, we can never redeem some of these people. There's just no way we can do it. It's beyond our ability. It's like trying to make a Honda Civic go 212 miles an hour without any alteration on the engine. And this is the real true meaning of you can't fix stupid. And it's almost like, I don't know if you ever read 1984, but there were this group of people that were created much like this, and they couldn't even stand to look upon beauty. And Brandon makes a great point. The low man can't stand to look at beauty. They're upset with beauty. Beauty repels them. That's why they want to destroy it. And if you find yourself wanting to destroy beauty, then you're not an Arian. It explains the mentality of a lot of bitches and witches that we've seen. Wow. This is interesting stuff. This is the conquering race of the Bible. These low-minded mud people. They went forth conquering and to conquer, killing other people and taking their land and taking their civilizations by using that advanced technology that Moses had stolen, the ark. Back then, they had no creativity, and they still don't have any creativity. Back then, they had no originality, and they still don't have any originality. Back then, they were a parasitic race, and today, they are still a parasitic race. They had and have no creativity because, look at the picture, they've got no divine spark. They're only earthly. They're only earthly. And oh my, more realizations on live, whatever we're on here, ladies and gentlemen. Earthly thoughts. Coming to you from the script. Earthly thoughts. It's in the book of James. Which verse is it? Earthly thoughts. Earthly thoughts. Ooh, James 3. Let's read this. And, you know, somebody asked me, how much of the Bible's fake? James chapter 3. 100% of it's fake. How much of the Bible's false? 100% of it's false. How much of the Bible's wrong? 100% of it's wrong. Because 100% of it is designed to keep you under a fear and guilt, blood magic, mind control matrix. So most of you shouldn't read it. And I get in trouble for saying, throw your Bible away, don't read it. But most of you shouldn't because you're not high-minded enough to read your Bible. You'll get taken in by the spell. You got to be of an advanced, and Token Toker would be really happy because we have 420 right now in chat. You have to be an advanced scholar to be able to see the gems I'm about to show you that are put there only because they have to be, not because they love you so much. They're put there only because they have to be, because they have to give plausible deniability. They have to tell what they're doing, and they have to show us. They have to be able to say, look, we told these stupid bitches. They just didn't believe us. So how about this? Watch this. And this just came to me. I didn't even plan this. This is what you call a realization from your divine mind. See if it's a realization to your divine mind, because it might not be. If it comes from me, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a revelation for you, because revelations aren't true. Is it a realization for you? Let's see. The wisdom that is from above is pure. That's Aryan nature. It's pure. Peaceable. That's Aryan nature. It's peaceable. That's why we're in this mess right now, because we're too peaceable. We've been too decent for too long, and we played the frog, and we sat in the water while they turned up the heat, turned up the heat, turned up the heat, turned up the heat, and now it's boiling, and even though we've jumped out, it might be too late. We're too pure of mind. We can't. And people say, and this is weird, but people say this is my problem. I'm too pure of mind. You're too nice, Jeff. The Aryan people are too pure of mind and of heart. The Aryan people are too peaceable. We needed to throw out our bubble gum a long time ago and start kicking ass and taking names, but we said, no, let's just chew some gum. Because we want to be gentle. We are easy to be entreated. We're nice people. We're easy to get along with. We love everybody. We're full of mercy. We're full of good fruits. We give and give and give. When bad things happen in the world, who's given good things to those people who have had bad things happen to them? The Aryans are. We're full of mercy. We're full of good fruits. We don't want to be partial against people. And we have, comparatively speaking, very little hypocrisy. And we've always been the peacemakers. But there's another wisdom that doesn't come from the high mind. It's earthly wisdom. Why is it earthly wisdom? Because it came out of the earth. It's the mud mind. It's the subhuman mind that is earthly, wanting to inherit the earth, wanting to burn the earth, wanting to control the earth, wanting to bury everybody in the earth. Sensual, just living for your feelings of today. Devilish. Let's see what that word devilish means, because it doesn't mean devilish like you think it means. Devilish means demonic. It means devilish. How you would expect a demon to act. Christians are devilish. Jeff, how can you say that? Because they act like I would expect a demon to act. I would expect a demon to bash babies' heads against the rocks. That's how the Christian God does it and did it. And the Christian people are okay with that. That's acting like a demon in my book. Saying that you killed your own son to save everybody else after you tortured him, and now I want you to eat his flesh and drink his blood, that's acting like a demon, and agreeing with that is also acting like a demon. Asking for the blood of a tortured, murdered individual to cover you so you can be quote unquote saved, that's acting like a demon. Accepting into you a father and a son to live in your heart, that sounds like acting like a demon to me. It sounds like an unruly evil, and it sounds like deadly poison. It's earthly, it's sensual, it's devilish. Envy, strife, confusion, every evil work. Have you looked around at Black Lives Matter? Have you looked around at Antifa? And have you looked at a MAGA rally? What do you got? This is a great point, and it's not MAGA, because there's a bunch of dummies in MAGA too, but it points to the Aryan mindset. When you go to a MAGA rally, what do you see? Purity, peaceableness, gentleness, easy to get along with, mercy, goodness, no prejudice, no hypocrisy, the fruit of righteousness among people that are trying to make peace. That's a MAGA rally. Now, what you saw at the Capitol wasn't a MAGA rally. Don't show your stupidity. But when you look at a BLM protest, a BLM looting session, an Antifa looting session, what do you see? You see things that are earthly, sensual, devilish, envying, strife, confusion, every evil work. And it's interesting that you didn't see Black Lives Matter at the Capitol. And the reason you didn't see Black Lives Matter at the Capitol is there wasn't no Target there. There wasn't no Apple store there. There wasn't no Walmart. There wasn't no shit to steal. That's why Black Lives Matter didn't show up. Because they only protest by stealing big screens and Nikes. You got to go protest? Is there a Target? Hell no, I ain't going to protest. I know you don't like it, but it's the truth anyhow. Wow. Wow. So these people went forth conquering other people because they're not creative. That's why you got to steal and burn other people's shit and try to take it for yourself, because you don't have what it takes to make it on your own and by yourself, because you're parasites. Look it up. It's not a comforting thought. They don't have any creativity. They don't have any divine spark. They can't create, so they can only parasite the work and culture of others. What are you seeing in the United States right now? You're seeing a great class of proud Americans trying to save the republic, and you're seeing a great crowd of asses trying to take their shit. We hate the rich. If it wasn't for the rich, your asses would be naked trying to find a bug to eat. Because if we don't make the money, there ain't nobody to pay the taxes to give you your goddamn EBT card. Think about that for a minute before you start bitching about rich people again. Poor people don't pay no money into the kitty, and ain't no money in the kitty, ain't no money coming out of the kitty. The titty on the kitty run dry without rich folks. Keep that in mind. Next time you want to talk about the evil rich. Bitch. They can only parasite the work and culture of others. And they're now trying to parasite our culture, and they're trying to parasite our country. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. And we've been too decent for too long, and it's time to get rid of the bubble gum. Look at what's happening around the planet today, and look at what your prophets tell you is going to happen tomorrow. All of these idiots on YouTube, and really the bigger idiots are the people that listen to them, believe them, follow them, because I've shown you and proven to you that the word prophet just means jester, juggler, storyteller, actor, singer, entertainer is what it is. If you've never seen the series The Witcher, watch The Witcher and see the bard. That's a prophet. That is a prophet. And I've proven it to you over and over and over again. But yet, these singers, jesters, can I just say clowns? Because they really are. They're just clowns. They're jokers. They're clowns. These jokers, these clowns, and it's funny because a lot of them dress like clowns. They dress in costumes, says the guy in a paisley jacket. But hey, I got to be me, right? But these clowns have you believing that they're the smartest people in town. How funny is it when a clown can convince you that he or she is the smartest person around? They're a clown. And they've got you believing they know what's going to happen tomorrow. And they say this is going to happen, that's going to happen. There's going to be some of these things on this list, and some of these things on this list show up, and you're like, damn, they knew. Listen, dummy. These things happened a long time ago, and they are trying to make them happen again. It's a plan that repeats itself. So you don't have to be that bright to say that this plan we're trying to work, if it happens again, this stuff is going to happen. Because it happened before. And it's only happened one time, I think. One time they got it right. One time the little bitch-ass puny God of the Bible had the ability to pull this off, and he used the ark. Maybe, I was asking myself this. Boy, this is realization night. I was asking myself all day long. How come he quit using the ark? How come he only used it once? Well, you know, a person that doesn't have a real strong, rational mind, they say, well, if a little bit's good, a lot's better. Maybe he burnt the ark out. Maybe he's a 1 minute man, which is very likely. Maybe he burned it all out. And did you know that I have biblical proof that Jesus himself has erectile dysfunction? Well, he came once 2,000 years ago. We're still waiting for that bitch to come again. It's been 2,000 years. I think he got a little problem. Where was I before that brilliant segue? But anyway, he blew his load one time and he ran out of Viagra. Like father, like son, Like son, like father, right? Neither one of them can come again. Neither one of them can get it up again. Because at one time, they blew it all out with all of these things. And just like the guy who promises his girlfriend or his boyfriend, I'm not judging, oh, that never happens, I'll get it back up again. Just give me a minute. Just give me an hour. Just give me a day. Just give me a week. Just give me a month. Can you give me 6 months? Can you give me a year? Can you give me 2,000 years? I promise I'm going to get it up again. I'm coming again. And we wait. And we wait. And we wait. I don't wear watches, but you know what I'm doing. We wait. Maybe he blew it all on this one act. And if you could only get it up one time, I guarantee you, you would tell a bunch of stories about all the times you got it up when it was only once. I'm beginning to detect a pattern. I'm beginning to detect a pattern. Can you get this anywhere else? Cynthia walks in a hot-looking red nightie and says, "You're so dirty. Honey, you know you like it." I am dirty. I'm a rotten, filthy man. And she's such a nice woman. But hey. Did I say I gotta be me? All right, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. They're not separate events. It's just one strategy. All the Bible plagues are all the same because it was the same event. All Bible destructions are the same one. If you compare the striking similarities between all destructions and quote-unquote biblical history, I've been spent all day doing that, and I had a tremendous realization. Not a revelation. I had a realization. Because a revelation is a story some other bitch gives you. A realization come from a bitch own bitch ass. And that's the way you want to be. Be your own bitch. You ready? See if this works for you. History is his story. The story of the false god, the story of the Zio dominions, and all the great cataclysms of the script. I call it the script, you call it the scripture. They're all really one. And they have a hope and a prediction for a final one. Remember, he's coming again. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You're coming again. We'll wait for that to happen. And while you're at the store, buy me some D-cell batteries and a bunch of them. I know that dates me, but hey. All the Bible destructions were the same one. Where the earth became without form and void between Genesis 1:1 and 1:2. Where the Egyptians were ravaged in Exodus 7 through 10. The destruction of Revelation 8, the destruction of Revelation 16. It's the same fish story. Look at it. It's the same shit all over again. You've seen this movie before. All right, I'll let it get bigger so you can look at it. You guys are so dirty. You're so dirty. Did Rome have the ark technology? Did Rome have the ark technology? Why would you ask that, Jeff? Well, the Romans were Aryans. And the Romans didn't have any interest in bubble gum. They were just interested in kicking ass and taking names, right? Right. So the Romans were Aryans. And I've always wondered, do you realize that in AD 70, they literally leveled the temple? They took it apart block by block. It had mortar. It had gold in the mortar, which is one of the reasons why they took it apart block by block. But I asked myself, How did they take that thing away block by block? How did they plow where it stood so that if you had walked up there, according to Josephus, you couldn't even have told that there had ever been a building there? How did they do that so thoroughly with their technology of 70 AD? How did they do it? They literally leveled the temple so there wasn't one stone left upon another. Artistic representations show the Romans in possession of the mythical ark. Did they destroy the temple using the ark technology? And did they use the ark technology to close the portal forever? Because they didn't want the Zio dominions to be able to come back and forth anymore. Let's get really crazy. Could the ark have been what caused Nagasaki and Hiroshima? One thing we know for sure is that it wasn't a nuclear bomb like we're told that did it. Which brings up another question. Is this battle that's raging right now in the United States of America and really across the whole world, is this battle raging right now designed to take the ark technology from the Aryans once again? I'm just asking a question. I don't know the answer. The answer is I hope not. Maybe it was destroyed back in World War II. Or maybe, since we're speculating, maybe when those Aryan craft came over the White House, and maybe when the traitor Dwight D. Eisenhower met with the Aryans on the tarmac at those two Air Force bases, maybe he was so mad because the Aryans said, "Give us the ark back, or we're going to destroy you." So maybe the true Aryans took the ark away from the traitor Eisenhower because they didn't trust him. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't know. But it gives us an idea of how important this battle might be that we're fighting right now. This is late night in the heartland. Are we in a war of the worlds right now? We know we are in 2021. Is it just a battle for the American Republic? Is it just a battle to put down the high-minded Aryans, which arguably were better, stronger, faster, and have thrown out the gum more than ever before? Or is it also an ancient battle for the ark technology continuing into our day? I don't know. I really don't know, but I think it's worth speculating about. I think it's worth asking about. I think it's worth pondering. And I think it's worth getting busy over, because we just don't know, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of the things I talked about tonight, we do know. Some of them are speculative. And I love it when the low-minded subhumans want to tell you how bad you are. You know, it says take it with a grain of salt, consider the source. Well, there you go. And I am considering the source. Let's run back through the chat real quick and answer some questions. Then we'll take our first break and we'll open up the phone lines. Let's see what else we got. And this is an interesting point. Joe was kind of making a joke, I think. Joe said that I once was a low man until I had second thoughts. Can someone that's born a low man become an Aryan man? I don't know. I don't know. Jotun says we're living in historical times. We are, one way or the other. Jeremiah says the Ark and the Kaaba are the same. That was my point. Thank you. It's a big part of the deception. They merely adopted earthliness. That's interesting. We are divine. Absolutely. Parasites suck, says Gray Flora. Both true and witty. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. There's creators and there's destroyers. Absolutely. And I would say in this case, there's creators and there's devourers, parasites. Parasites. Any book that's free in a hotel is obvious propaganda. Well put, Jotun. You're on a roll tonight. You're on a roll tonight. Thomas Venable says, WTF, wow, yeah, you'll get a lot of that. Tracy says they plagiarize some nuggets from other spiritual teachings to give some credibility to their tale. Well, every good liar weaves in a little bit of truth. Free book in a hotel. You can get a lot of stuff in a hotel that's free. Bed bugs, lice, all that kind of stuff. Don Cottrell absolutely agrees. Thank you so much. None of it should have been written. These stories used to be just shared orally. I'm for sharing orally. I got no problems with that. Brandon says we reach out our hands in freedom and goodwill and we get stabbed in the back. We do, but sooner or later we get woke up. Sooner or later we'll get woke up. Electromagnetic frequency says the biggest mistake that he used to make is to think others would act like I would in return. Isn't it interesting that the biblical lie says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you? That is aimed at Arians. They only want us to do unto others as we would have them do unto us. So they got time to do us first. The Christians and their lies. Wow. There's another realization, ladies and gentlemen. And here, this is, Carla doesn't know, she's new. She says the Aryan people made all the wars. Carla, that's what you've been told. Actually, the opposite is true. And hello to you in Brazil. So nice to have you. The opposite of that is true, Carla. We didn't start wars. But white people start wars. Well, yes and no. There's white people, but it's the other white meat, Carla. Look a little more deeply into that, and maybe you'll understand what I'm saying. Maybe you'll understand what I'm saying. Burn, loot, and murder. Sounds like a low man mindset. BLM, absolutely. What else we got here? I look at Cynthia, beauty of mind, and ask where can I get something similar? I don't know, Joe. I think they broke the mold, brother. One brings the goods while other takes the goods. Linda Walton, that is so good. The Aryan man builds and the low man steals. The Aryan man builds and the low man parasites. You know who's not asking for reparations? Aryan people. People of an Aryan mind don't want reparations. They just want to be left the hell alone so they can do their own deal. Communism makes everybody devastatingly poor. Communism seeks to lower the Aryan to the level of the mud man. That's the only way. The only way to elevate the mud man to the level of the Aryan is to pull the Aryan down to his level. And we're not going to let it happen. Not going to let it happen. Just looking through there to see if we got anything else. Jeebus is flaccid. Yep. I heard the door slam. I'm not sure what you mean by that. This is definitely an after dark show, says Tracy. Yeah. We get a little racy, Tracy, every now and then. Brandon says nukes are not real. People went back to work inside of 3 days in Nagasaki, Hiroshima. Lots of stuff to think about, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of stuff to think about. I thought the ark was in Oklahoma. Interesting. Trisha G, nice to see you. It's one of those half and half quotes. Her grandfather believed in the Aryan race. He was ex-UK Air Force. And he was very controlling. Well, one doesn't necessarily follow the other, Trisha G, but nice to see you nonetheless. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages, this is Late Night in the Heartland. We are about the most interesting thing that you can do late at night. Well, maybe the second most interesting thing you can do late at night. But we're glad to be here, and we're glad to be providing some quality family entertainment. Okay, maybe it's not family entertainment all the way, but you know, it's some interesting entertainment. And I can't get my commercial to load right now. Come on, commercial, load. Well, you know what you do when one commercial won't load? You do another commercial. So maybe I'll do that. Let me see what the commercial this is right here. Okay, this one will do. This one will do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go take a break. When we get back, we're going to open up the lines for your calls, ladies and gentlemen. The rest of the night, we're going to hear from you. But right now, we've got a great word from our outstanding, look at that, from our outstanding sponsor. Somebody doesn't want me to play this commercial, but guess what? I'm tenacious, and I'm going to do it anyway. You ready for this? Here we go. And now they don't want to give me any sound.
To credit to crypto. And in the digital age, the changes are accelerating so quickly that only the fast movers can keep up. And while most people are stuck on the slow track, still trying to figure out an old medium of money, those fast movers in the know are busy accumulating massive quantities of the new money. And let's face it, being first, being fast, and being right has always been worthy of massive rewards. So here's the big question. What if there was a way for you to finally be in? A way for you to create more success and security for you and your family than you ever dreamed of. A way for you to not just speed up, but speed up in the right direction, achieving the necessary velocity for success. Would you be interested? Well, let us introduce you to Bitlocity, the ultimate evolution in economic prosperity. Imagine one platform that seamlessly blends the transparency and security of blockchain technology and the peer-to-peer qualities of smart contracts with the mutual leveraging components of crowdfunding, all augmented by the fastest moving compensation plan that this universe has ever seen, designed to pay you directly, repeatedly, and quickly, with absolutely no limits to your earning potential. There's never been a global crypto accumulation model like this in history, but now the time has come. Are you ready? Ready to be on the cutting edge? Ready to be in the know? Ready for the fast track? Over the next several months, millions will join. But if you are watching this video, you can be amongst the first and benefit from the hyper velocity created by the migration of the masses to come. Get prepared to move at the speed of success. Welcome to Bitlocity.
Welcome to Bitlocity. Just go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Bitlocity logo or click on the Bitlocity button up at the top, and you will be on top of what it is. I mean, either you like it or you won't, and it's no harm, no foul either way. But we want to try to make this open and ready for you. And look at this quick draw McGraw. I haven't even opened the lines up, but It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Yeah, Jeff, this is Jack. I listen to you from time to time. I'm not sure what you're talking about tonight, but have you got a chance for a little interesting theory?
Sure.
All right. Everybody's talking about Insurrection Act and things of that nature.
They are.
Are you aware of the act that Trump signed in January the 11th for Washington, D.C. for the emergency declaration?
I am.
Okay, and it reads pretty close to an Insurrection Act. And everybody's looking at him doing something across the United States, which is too big to do. All he has to do is declare that in Washington. And now all of a sudden, you've got all the fences going up, 15,000 National Guard troops in there. All he has to do is control the command post. He cannot declare the Insurrection Act across the United States because of the fact that there are people that are not affected.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I follow your reason.
So one of the things that I'm looking at is the command post and the headquarters is Washington, and all he's got to do is secure D.C. And if he secures D.C., it's game over.
That's a good point. That's an interesting point. And I hope that you're right. I have to say this, ladies and gentlemen, because of honesty and integrity. But as I listen to President Trump today, he sounds like a guy on his way out. He doesn't sound like a guy getting ready to fight. And I hope he's positioning. I hope he's posturing, because it doesn't sound good right now. Thanks for that call. And that's an interesting take. And Brandon says he's not going to just say, I declare the insurrection. I declare martial law. Why wouldn't he? Frankly, that's what I'm waiting for. Why wouldn't he? He's not worried, Christina. I hope you're right. For the first time, I'm saying, I said to Cynthia today, that sounds like a guy on his way out. He's either trying to surprise the enemy, or he's lost the backing of sufficient numbers of the military to make it happen. We'll find out in short order, won't we, ladies and gentlemen? We'll find out in short order. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff. I wanted to comment on what you're just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is the art of the deal. He's appearing weak when really it's all a facade. We really have to think about what he's been doing in Texas. I think what he's doing with the lieutenant governor, because Abbott is corrupt, I think they're possibly, since DC is so terrible, especially all the Masonic symbolism, what if he's setting up continuity of government for the new republic in Texas and having that be the base of operation?
You know, it's possible, Brandon, but you know what I feel like right now? I feel like I used to feel back when I saw Christianity unraveling. And yes. I feel like a Christian that knows the gig is up, desperately defending the Jesus narrative.
I know. And I feel the same way too. I've been having this exact same conversation with a lot of people. And it's like, we can't be like St. Peter and then feel silly when it all the comeuppance is upon us, and then be like, oh, I supported it the whole time. It's own your feelings. And we can't deny that now.
Yep.
In the hour of need, because he's ultimately feeding off of our collective energy.
That's
and
true.
Anybody that gives up on him is going to feel really silly at the end of it. And I mean, if we end up being wrong, and I'm totally going to own it. But as a person who once did not support the actions of the office, I fully trust that things are going to work out.
And I'm not giving up on him. Let me be clear. I'm just saying that he's either masterful or he's found out. And I mean, what would happen if they said to him, Mr. President, we're so sorry, but we don't have the support that we had. But I don't, Donald Trump has always been, I have this book called The Trump Rules, and it talks about how Trump lives his life and about, Trump is more than a person. Trump is a brand. And the Trump rules are always winning, fail your way to the top, screw the critics, the ego rules, always pitching, never bitching. It's all about the story, celebrity, everyone needs a brand, and the return of the relentless, and chutzpah, a.k.a. never quit. The guy that we see right now is not Donald Trump. And if he skulks his way out of Washington, the Trump brand is over. He will not be Donald Trump anymore. And he will find out what it's like to be a millionaire again, because his business empire's over if he doesn't fight back.
Right. And one positive piece of news I did see was that Sheldon Adelson has passed away.
Sheldon Adelson passed away, huh?
Yes.
He had me in his house several times. He was very nice to me. I was dating his granddaughter's best friend. But that's, in one way, for the family, I'm sorry. And, for another way, I'm not so much, but yeah.
Right. But yeah, I just want to stress to everybody, do not go to any organized meetings at your capitals right now, because I really feel with this narrative that they're pushing through the mainstream media is that they're going to try to incite uprising and use that as a pretense for further action.
Yeah, be very, very
we
careful.
Just need to protect our homestead, protect your family, and focus only on that right now.
Absolutely. And, Brandon, thanks for the call. We have to win, ladies and gentlemen, because if we don't, this is the kind of stuff that we're looking at. This is who we're dealing with. Biden's personnel chief served at the Chinese Intel organization flagged by the FBI for recruiting Western spies. Thomas Zimmerman, who will serve as a special assistant to the president for so-called President Joe Biden, formerly served as a visiting scholar at what the FBI has called a front group for Chinese intelligence collection and overseas spy recruitment. And if the FBI is calling it dirty, that's the pot calling the kettle black. But this guy is a communist CCP bought and paid for bitch. And he's going to bring other CCP. If he ever sits in the White House, folks, it's over. The communists have won. That's how important this is. All right. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hi, Jeff. There's an executive order I probably want to bring to your attention so you can look into this. It is Executive Order 13959. Signed November 17, 2019, went into effect apparently on the 11th.
What number is it?
And 13959.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it was signed November 17, 2019, to go into effect 60 days later, which would have been the 11th. And apparently, right now, as it stands, it is illegal for the 35 listed companies to exist in America in any way, shape, or form, and they are the umbrella companies that trickle down money to the Democrats. But I think you probably ought to look into that.
Okay. Will do.
Okay, so yeah, I had just been updated on this, so I thought I'd run it by you all.
All righty. Well, thank you for that.
All right.
We will take a look
All
at
right,
it.
you're welcome.
All righty. We don't have a call right now. What does it say? Executive Order 13959 is a U.S. President executive order signed November 12, and the goal is addressing the threat from securities investments that finance communist military companies. The executive order prohibits all U.S. investors from purchasing or investing in securities of companies identified as Chinese communist military companies, which is defined as any company that the U.S. Department of Defense has identified as such. So there's 31 companies listed here. And I'll bet you, if you looked at these 31 companies that are listed here and compared them to the list of Biden nominees, you would find multiple Biden nominees with working relationships with at least one, if not many, of these affected companies. Companies like Huawei, Hikvision, Panda Electronics. Don't worry, it's not where you get your Chinese bowl. That's Panda Express, not Panda Electronics. Take it easy. China Mobile, China Aerospace, Aviation Industry Corporation of China. So yeah, I don't really get where she was going with that, but it is something to look at. It is something to think about, and it is something to be aware of. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Jack Ma, Tracy says he's the Chinese Bezos. Jack Ma hadn't been seen in a while. Ever since Jack Ma made some noise over there, he got slapped on the hand, and maybe more. Jack Ma hasn't been seen. And we think that he might have got, I'm wondering if he might have got a little too capitalistic for them. He maybe got a little too capitalistic for them. Keish Wash, new subscriber. Thank you so much, Keish. I appreciate it very, very much. We appreciate you being here. He hasn't been seen for months, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Ma. So I'm not so much throwing dirt at Jack Ma right now because, yeah, he hasn't been seen for a minute, and he might have just been a little too free for the people over there in the CCP. It's possible, ladies and gentlemen. It's possible. Wow. Well, folks, very, very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting developments. I'm not off the Trump train, but I got my eyes wide open, and I'm wondering, I really am, because it comes to a point where we got to face the truth and we got to face reality, and we just got to be ready. That's all I'm saying. We just got to be ready. I'm not out. I'm still on Team Trump. I'm just keeping my eyes open, and I'm trying to say, let's get ourselves to a place that we are ready to do what we got to do. However this goes, we can't quit. We can't give up. We can't surrender. We can't go into depression. We can't lay on the floor and cry all day, maybe for an hour or two. But the time will come up for us to get up, brush ourselves off, and get about living and thriving and flourishing and prospering and surviving, come what may. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is Late Night in the Heartland. You can call in at 913-279-0831. 913-279-0831. I don't know, man. The Cheeto's pretty slippery, and there's still 7 full days ahead. Not sure what that means, 100 days at a time, but I think I'm with you. Cynthia says China having many internal crises. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hi, Jeff. I have a question for you pertaining to your show tonight.
Okay.
Okay. I heard this maybe 25 years ago when I was in college. This may be controversial. The German chancellor apparently the Aryan race had so much technology, and Germany was growing very, very strong. I always heard that the German chancellor went around to different cities and he was taking back certain weapons, like the Rod of God, the Spear of Destiny. I also heard there were controversial stories that the Hebrews were put in places to not take him down again.
To not
Do you
take
know
him
if any
down
of that's
again.
true?
Well, my suspicion is that probably all of that is true. The only reason that and thank you for the call, the only reason that he didn't conquer the world is because he didn't want to conquer the world. He showed the blueprint for how you defeat the New World Order. He showed the blueprint for how you defeat global communism. And his problem was that he, as strong and as powerful as the German nation was, they weren't able to withstand the combined might of the rest of the world. And I hypothesize that the German chancellor had the weaponry sufficient to destroy the United States, to destroy Britain, to destroy Russia. But he hesitated to do so because he didn't want to do such great damage to the Aryan race. And that he instead chose to sacrifice his nation for the good of the race. And no greater love hath any man than to lay down his life for his race. And he was quoted as saying, we're not in the business of killing other Aryans. Great call. Interesting call. And we go places, ladies and gentlemen. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hi, Jeff. It's me again. Are you familiar with the stock market? Can you look at it and know what's going on?
I'm too familiar with the stock market right now. Go ahead.
Okay, because I was just told that 200 Chinese-backed companies have been removed from the stock market. I wouldn't begin to know how to look that up, but that might be something you might look into.
I know that the executive order from the president was passed, and they were balking at it. But if they actually have been removed, that would be, to me, a strong indicator that President Trump may not be on his way out. Chinese companies removed from stock market. Let's see what we pull up here. If that has happened, then that is a powerful I don't see any confirmation of it yet. House passes bill that would delist Chinese companies from the U.S. stock market. If this has happened,
Are you smiling?
Yeah, I'm smiling.
That's good news.
That is really good news. That's really encouraging news. Thanks for calling back. That's good stuff.
I'm glad I got to share that with you.
Thank you so much for calling back. That's really good stuff. Yeah. Wow. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff, it's the infamous Mr. A.
I know who you are. What's up, my friend?
Hey, good news. Hey, I got some good news. We are now awakened to the fact that we got to pull up the civic bootstraps and start cleaning up our local and state. And I think he has shown, I think Trump has shown, even if he's leaving, he's shown how dirty and disgusting, even down to your local town.
He fought a hell of a fight either way. I don't think he's on his way out yet, but he did fight a hell of a fight.
Yes, and he's shown how politically nasty and dirty the local government is. And if people can get out there and say, "Hey, I'm clean. We're going to clean this up. You dirty MFers are out, up to the state. We don't have to worry about Biden, what he has to do." Okay,
that's a great point.
Because he gave us power. He gave us the power back. He gave us the power back to the local level, and we just build it up to the state level. It's our responsibility.
And you know what, Mr. A, you're so smart on this, and it's really given me a lot of hope, because what they have shown us, and this is a complete in my mind, it's like jerking the needle across the record, because I've always been a person that was about states' rights, and it goes all the way back to my Confederate blood. And one thing that we've been shown during this dosum wist, this stupid 19, this pandemic, is that the governors are the HNICs. The governors are in charge. So if we can get involved locally, Mr. A, and start getting voted into city council and county commission and school board, and we can get good governors elected, then maybe we can't have a good United States of America anymore, but having a good state is not out of the question.
Exactly. I think that's what I think that's the thing he brought attention to with, like, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Nevada, that hey, folks, you need to clean up. It's your responsibility now to clean up. And
interesting.
So that's what I want to say. That's the silver lining, But we have to take up the mantle. That's it.
Great call. Thank you so much. And Cynthia and I mean, I'll go ahead and say this. Sooner or later, Donald Trump has to leave office. I don't think it's going to be sooner, but it'll definitely be later. And he's shown us that we can make states great again. Maybe we can or we can't make the United States great again. Not giving up. But we can make states great again. And if you look at the great state of South Dakota, a great governor who's running for re-election, and if I can get 4 more years to do what I do, I can get it done, ladies and gentlemen. And you look at the great state of South Dakota, less than 1 million people, some beautiful area, some beautiful landscape. Cold as it can be in the wintertime, but I've made my peace with cold. The state of South Dakota, no taxes, no income taxes, great policies. They're still open. They never close for a day. She said she won't close for a day. No masks. I'm telling you what. Ray Charles had Georgia on his mind. I got South Dakota on my mind, ladies and gentlemen. I got South Dakota on my mind. South Dakota on my mind. Oh, that was terrible, but I could try again, but I won't. It's late night in the heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hello, Jeff. This is Steven.
Hello, Steven. What's up, my friend?
I'm not sure what's going to happen, but there are 3 things I'm certain of. One, there have been blackouts in very key positions across the globe.
Sweet home, South Dakota. Sorry.
2, Nancy Pelosi has not shown us work in the past 2 days. And 3, Trump has been fighting the Chinese for decades.
Yes. Absolutely right. 3 things to think about, 3 things to be hopeful about. I appreciate that call.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't believe Trump's out.
I am going to stand with you. Thanks so much for calling. He's not out. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hi, Jeff. It's Trisha.
Trisha, how are you? Calling away from the UK. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. I thought I'd call in.
We appreciate hearing from you. What's on your mind tonight, Trisha? And what do you see as a great seer and a spiritual person that is very, very good with divination? What do you see for our country here and for yours there?
Well, I still think, I had a moment where I felt Donald Trump, like the first time he got in, I was very clear, predicted it 7 months before. And it was on radio when I did that. And I was very clear he'd get in, and it got a little bit muddy, but I feel he's going to get in again. I've doubted on it, I've pulled cards. I feel he's just, I don't know, he's that Gemini. We're Geminis, aren't we? You're a Gemini, I believe. I'm a Gemini. I believe, I don't know, God help us if Biden gets in, that's all. And in the UK, we are a full lockdown again.
I know, it's horrible. I feel so badly for you. Do you see any end in sight, or does it look like they're going to just keep you locked down?
Well, they're looking at going further, like 8 p.m. curfew, and not even allowed out for exercise could be the next step.
That is absolutely horrific. Is there any hope? I mean, what are you guys going to do?
I don't know, because personally, people might. My son, you probably won't remember, he has a heart condition. So he's not been seen all year, Jeff. All his cardiology appointments cancelled, not been seen. He's totally healthy, he's doing good, but, all been cancelled. He wears a mask to please people, but we're following the rules, but I've not worn a mask unless I've had to, I put a scarf on maybe. It's just, I don't believe in, this is just not what it seems. I didn't believe in it from day one. This is not about a virus. I dowsed on it. I did the numerology. I don't know if you ever follow it. Zachary Hubbard. Follow him if you don't. The numbers that I got were March the 11th and 3rd of November, because 11 and 3 were all the words they were using. I know I'm jumping about, but I'm trying to get it in quick.
That's
11 and 3 were the numbers that kept coming up. So I got March 11th, 3rd of November, and they've been key dates. And it's all
what about
numbers.
the 11th of March? Is that a possibility? Did you say March 11th?
Yeah. National Basketball Association shut down on March the 11th, and I didn't know that when I dowsed. Well, I was doing the numbers, and then I got off the live, and it flagged up National Basketball Association shut down that day.
Wow. Do any numbers come to your mind, Trisha, for the near future?
Well, I kept looking. All I got.
And you know what, Trisha? Somebody just said this. If numerically or numerology, you could say that today is a 11-3. No, you couldn't. It's a 1-3. Yes, you could. No, I guess not. That's stretching it. I'm sorry.
We're on the 13th of January now in the UK, so it's 3, 4.
Oh, okay.
5,
Well, I was thinking of the 12th. Anyway, sorry, my bad.
We're on the day one.
And it's 11:33 right now, though, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's a day of endings with you, a day 9. We're on a day 1 now. But what was I going to say?
Any numbers on your mind for the immediate future?
I feel 2021, let's say, globally is a year 5. Rebellion, change, chaos, transformation. I feel and I predicted this before, we'll have probably most of 2021 with what's going on, and I feel it'll be 2022 at the very earliest, and me and my son will not have a vaccine.
Good for you.
Do you know what I mean? It would, and I'll be honest, I've got lots of friends that will not have the vaccine. They're very awake. There's lots of awake people. Some people, you know, my mother passed away last year, and I haven't got my parents anymore. But I watched a UK surgery of old people queuing for 3 hours, to give you an idea, in the UK for the vaccine.
That means standing in line.
3 hours.
Wow.
Sorry?
Amazing.
Yeah. And that's just one surgery in the UK. It wasn't a local one. It was away. 3 hours of elderly, the sick. And I'm sorry, but there's no way they're going to put... I mean, you're ex-military. I'm ex-military. We were pumped with vaccines.
We were.
That was the way you had to have them out. You couldn't carry on. There's no way in hell. It'd have to be the absolute...
I agree with you, Tricia. I agree with you.
It'd have to be the end of the line. And my son, who is high risk, said, there's no way am I taking that vaccine.
I agree with you 100%.
And just to give an idea as well, in the UK, I've had friends that are in their 50s die of cancer during lockdown because all their treatment was stopped. So it saddens me that they're dividing us all, like the mask wearers, the non-mask wearers, which there's people dying of other things. I mean, I could go on for hours, but the hospitals are empty. They're under capacity in the UK. And this is fact, not me being a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
I've had it from people going to hospitals. They're under capacity, and we're normally over capacity as normal. My son rang up. He was supposed to see a cardiologist in March. No appointment. Nothing.
Terrible stuff, Tricia. Thanks so much for calling in from the UK. Tricia is a great numerologist. Do you still have your channel going?
Yeah, I post stuff on. I don't go live at the minute because I don't really remember. I got trolled really badly, but I still do readings. 11 years going now. I still have my channel going, but I still do readings, energy clearings.
Tricia, tell people how to get a hold of you.
They can go to my website, triciagelder.co.uk. And all my YouTube videos are linked to my website as well. So,
well, thanks so much for calling in, Tricia. That's Tricia Gelder. You heard what she said. .uk.co or .co.uk. You can find her a good person, somebody that I like, an old friend. And thank you for calling in, Tricia. Not that she's old, but she's a friend that I've had for a while. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff. How are you doing tonight? Hello, Jeff.
I'm excellent. You caught me in the middle of a drink.
How are you doing tonight, Jeff?
I'm excellent. What's on your mind?
Hey, this thing with Moses. Have you ever heard of, maybe, I don't know if it came from one of those Nag Hammadi books or whatnot, but what's your take on him being Akhenaten? Or Akhenaten being Moses, whatever, something like that.
I don't say no. I don't say that he is, but I mean, I know a lot of people think that, so we'll leave that open for a possibility, but I say, nah.
Okay.
What do you think?
That. Thanks for taking my call.
Do you think he is?
Well, those chambers in the pyramids make me wonder, those people that like esoteric, that go into like the trance and go to the other side, other dimensions or whatever you call, like if you were taking ayahuasca and get to see, the other dimensions and whatnot, whether they call them ancestors, like the Indians here in America or whatever they call them, like other past lives. I'm thinking there's something to that, those chambers. And if he's from Egypt, it may, like you said, that black box makes sense. It's, that's what they do in Mecca, right? They rotate around that box for some kind of energy. So
they do. And you're right. That could be the same story. Tracy's saying it could be the same story. Moses, Akhenaten. It wasn't Barack Obama supposed to be Akhenaten too? And I think the representations, they look a whole lot alike. Interesting stuff. Great call. Great thoughts. Thanks for sharing. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Well, hello, Jeff. It's Monica.
Hi, Monica.
How are you feeling?
I'm great. What's on your mind tonight?
Okay. We were just talking. I had to put you on. I couldn't. Anyway, let me just get what I need to say out. I want to run this by you.
Okay.
What if our president comes out and his Trump card is disclosing all of this UFO stuff?
I think that would be interesting. I don't think there's a lot of I think if he was disclosing it, it wouldn't be about aliens and free energy and stuff like that. Was that Monica? Monica? I am Monica. Nice to see you. It could be. I just don't see it, but it could be. And I don't think it'll be like alien stuff, but it could be UFO stuff. Interesting. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff, I have 3 words for you.
Okay.
Ides of March. What if, in true Julius Caesar style, Trump is going to set up the new continuity of government on the 4th of March, which used to be Inauguration Day before FDR changed it to January 20th.
Are you sure about that? Really?
Possibly.
What was
just
Inauguration
think about it. We were just talking about Rome. We're just talking about Rome and the connections there. Connecting those bigger ideas together into seeing that it is truly like a war of ideals and stuff that's playing out.
I'm just trying to find where it says what the inauguration day was before January 20th. You say it was March?
Yes, March the 4th, I believe.
Interesting. Yes.
Connections to Rome.
March the 4th was the old inauguration day.
And think about every country that is locked down right now, Jeff. What is it that they all have in common?
Tell me.
They all have Central Intelligence Agency controlled central banks.
Very
Every
interesting.
single country that is locked down right now is under the control of the fiat reserve system.
And it was changed in the late 1800s, which was after Lincoln's War. Interesting stuff.
Yes.
Interesting stuff. March. Is he going to make us wait till March? I mean, something obviously has to break before the 20th with Biden.
Yes. I think that DC being fortified right now with the posse comitatus, I really think that there is going to be some stuff go down.
Stuff that will it be blamed on us again?
No, not if we sit back at home and just kick up our feet and watch it all unfold. Military is in control.
Yes, Tracy's talking about not necessarily before the 20th.
Ask the rods, Jeff.
But what I'm saying is something has to happen by the 20th because that's supposed to be Inauguration Day. And look at Dyer. She laughed at me a few days ago when I said there might be 2 presidents. And now she's saying there might be 2 presidents.
Yep.
What am I asking the rods? Yes, it does, Tracy. She says, no, it doesn't.
Try to summarize that into one question. Is everything that we just talked about in the past couple of minutes correct?
Is everything we've still talked about in the past couple of minutes correct? It says yes. She makes the point, and I made this point before, and she poo-pooed me, and now she's making the point. What if Biden does a silly inauguration thing, a dog and pony show, and he says, I'm president, and President Trump is like, bitch, please. Yes, you did, Tracy. You poo-pooed me. So it could be dueling.
Thank you.
It could be dueling presidencies.
Yep.
Wow. What do you think happens if they try to do that?
What do you think is going to happen? We have 70% of the military.
I hope we do. We're fixing to find out how much of the military we got.
It's going to be exactly like what happened post World War I when the Freikorps had to fight the commies in the streets, man.
Yeah.
It may not get quite that crazy, but
we're fixing to find out how much of the military does support the president and the patriots and how much of it has been corrupted by the communists. We're about to find out. Boy, this is getting more and more interesting, ladies and gentlemen. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeffrey. So I've been, mulling over what's been happening with the whole Capitol thing, the whole impeach Trump. So I'm saying at this point, like Trump and the Patriots kind of have their back to the wall.
No doubt.
Imagine you're sitting at home. You're sitting at home minding your own business. And next thing you know, you're proclaimed like a domestic terrorist.
It's crazy. It's absolutely ludicrous. And it just shows you how irrational most of the people in the United States are because they believe it.
And that's scary as hell.
It is scary as hell. But the good news is that not only are they stupid, they're also very, very cowardly, and they're very, very soyed up. So they're not going to be much of a opposition if it goes that way.
Well, I think of the they you're referring to as useful idiots with powers behind them.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't matter how much good material you have if you're a bitch. I think I feel if it comes to that, I feel confident. I just want to say to people out there that are in that position to take a deep breath and don't get too excited and just see what happens, Good words, really good words.
Now's
really
not the time.
Words.
Now's not the time to get like overreactive.
Really smart words. You're 100% right. Thanks for being a voice of reason. Thanks for calling. It was a great call. I like it. Biden does look like he's dying. He does look like he's dying. There's no doubt about it. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff, it's Get Dagger. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, thanks. I totally agree with Tricia. Obviously, what's going on with my dad, I don't know if it's a Commonwealth country thing with our health system, but my dad's having the same problem, trying to get appointments, get results, consultations, all that kind of stuff. My mom has to call into the doctor and basically cry to get anything done. It's pretty sad that it's come to this in this country of mine here.
It is.
I don't know what to say, but it's pretty sad. It's frustrating as well, obviously.
It really is. And, there's a lot of, I used to pastor a church in Canada, and they were constantly telling me how great their healthcare system is and how terrible ours is. And, well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are.
It's just it's great because it's free, but then we have to wait a lot longer, right? If you pay, you can go to the front of the line, right? Just like anything else. But when you don't pay, you have to sit and wait, just like in the military. Hurry up and wait, right?
Can you actually pay to go to the front of the line?
No, pay, go somewhere else. A lot of people go to the U.S. to get treatment, right? If they don't want to wait, right?
I got
Yeah, because my dad had to wait forever for a hip transplant. So, but other people were just flying out of the States or wherever to get it done. So,
gotcha. That makes sense.
And I saw exactly. I saw today that the Canadian military personnel headed to Latvia where they're going to get their vaccines later. They're not going to get it right away. But the public, they better get their vaccines right away. But the military, they can wait. They can wait. It's not a big deal. Even though there's a virus outbreak, I guess in Latvia, they can wait till they get back. So that was pretty interesting. I don't think that's very safe, but
it is very interesting.
What do you think about that?
I think that it shows that the whole thing is a charade. It's not real. It's not true, and it never has been. And it's just a complete hoax. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Well, looking at gadgets right now, well, it was 6 days ago, Junior said, we have a country to save. I don't think the Trumps are going anywhere anytime soon.
I hope you're right, and I still think you're right.
I'm trying to find more stuff, but last thing, post.
He's breaking up. Sorry about that, but you were breaking up really bad. What did Monica IM7 say? Biden needs a couple of gallons of 360 Purple Power. It's actually C60 Purple Power, and that's a good product, but I think that I found a better one. Sorry, Ken. I do. I think I found a better one, and I'm testing it out right now. And you remember the old shampoo commercial? Ours does what theirs does for less than half the cost. Remember that old commercial? I think it was Suave. Well, what if I said, I've got something that does what theirs does and even better, and it's less than a third of the cost? Way less than a third of the cost. It's like dirt cheap. I'll let you know about it once my tests are concluded. Not saying anything's wrong with C60. It's a great product, but there might be something greater. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk about that a little bit later. It is Late Night in the Heartland. We got 9 minutes left. Biden, dead man walking. You know, if he wasn't such a horrible person, I would actually have empathy for him. Ken is very cool. Ken is one of the great guys. I really appreciate Ken, and Ken gave me a real good lesson in life. We all know I'm too nice. We all know I got like brother issues, and many times the people that I'm instantly drawn and attracted to have ended up stabbing me in the back, and they've ended up being horrible people, right? I wasn't instantly attracted to Ken. It wasn't like a bromance from right now, you know, like, oh, let's bro up, brah. It wasn't like, brah. It wasn't like that. It was kind of like, eh. And Ken is one of the most solid, strong, faithful, loyal, true men that I've ever met. Ken Schwartz is, and that's German Schwartz, if you're wondering. Ken is strong. Ken is true. Ken's a real guy. Joe Sapien says, Jeff, are you instantly attracted to me? I don't know, bro. I never met you, but I'm sure I am. You seem like a really sexy kind of man, Joe. You know, you seem like my kind of guy. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Jeffrey Daugherty, what a beautiful time to be alive.
It's an interesting time for sure, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. Oh, well, I just saw, I don't know if you saw this, but striker units are being deployed.
Hey, stop the presses for a second. Just 1 second. Adrian Drew podcast says that Dr. Jill Biden gave him a prostate exam. I think you're lying because she's not that kind of doctor, but it was funny. Go ahead. What did you just see?
Repeat that. That's hilarious. Say that again, Jeff.
Somebody trying to be smarty. I'm gonna say that they're not just flat out lying. They said that Dr. Jill Biden gave them a prostate exam, but she's a doctor of education. She's a teacher, not a doctor. So anyway.
Well, yeah, she probably knows a lot about your name. But anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
she probably knows a lot about that ass too. But
I
anyway.
want to just say, first of all, I'm so grateful to you and to all the patriots that have, put their balls on the line and, spoke the truth through this whole thing. I can't even believe that you're still on YouTube. It's amazing.
Well, I'm very careful, but yeah.
And the other thing is, I think that this is going to just, some of the things I'm hearing, Jeff, this is getting really, it's almost, I think the imaginal of the goodness of our being is beginning to just pour out of us. And that's having an effect, because I believe that the president is a master visualizer manifester. I mean, if I've ever seen a guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I hope all of us keep doing as this process keeps going, because I mean, complete positive energy towards what the president and the patriots are doing behind the scenes that we can't even see. But that's what I just wanted to say, that I'm just so excited. Thank you for you and Cynthia for, bringing the inspiration when it was needed. And also the demystification, because, you call yourself you unindoctrinate, but you really are a demystifier.
Well, I appreciate that. We work hard.
And we'll just see you on the others. I think we're going to see some dancing in the streets once this is over. But in the meantime, everybody smile.
Thank you so much for that. Jeff. And you've helped me raise my spirits tonight, because I wasn't feeling so great when I took the microphone tonight. Thank you, KK Pink Factor, but I feel much better. I feel much stronger. Drewby Klein, thank you so much. And see, sometimes you get picked up by me, and sometimes I get picked up by you. Christina wants a spanking. That's how it goes. Some people have little things like that, and that's okay. I'm not going to judge. If somebody likes to get a spanking, I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. Cynthia Tracy says, we've all tipped a toe over the cliff. I did. I took a good look down the cliff. Tricia says that you have to watch out for the stabs in the back. Us Geminis attract users in business. Man, I have been stabbed in the back. If I had as many sticking out of me as I've had stuck in me, knives, I'd look like a porcupine. And it's sad, but it's true. And you learn. And you move on, and you do what you got to do. And if you want to be spanked in your bedroom, hey, no problem with me. I got no problem with you getting spanked. I would just recommend you use the bare hand, not a paddle. That's just the way I like to roll. But hey, we're not talking about that. Even though we are talking about that. But hey, what are you going to do, folks? What are you going to do? It's 11:57. We got 3 minutes left in the show. Let's do a poll. Spanking, yes or no? Go. Do you like to be spanked? Trisha puts 2 smiley faces. I'm going to count that as the first yes spank. Barehanded is the way, says, does it matter? Another spanker or spank. No, 2 no's. Mother of Denver and Dawn say no to spanking. Charles says no. Drewby says no. What's wrong with you people? Are you crazy people? Christina says yes, just not any paddles. Delaney's a yes. Tracy's a no. Who's surprised about that? Absolutely nobody. One with Nature says sure. Joe says, thank you, may I have another? That's beautiful. Regina, no. I'm disappointed. And Mother Dragons takes it another notch. She says hair pulling goes as well. Wow, have truck will travel, says Steve Borg. Steve Borg, spanker. Drewby says, I do this spanking. We got a dead head and a fish head. Oh my goodness. Trisha trying to bring it back to it's already gone. Monica says she's the spanker. Who's been bad? Monica, you're an attractive woman. You better watch it. You're going to have a long list of people lining up for spankings. I like Monica. She's a good lady. I've had her on the show. I appreciate her. Brandon's dying. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but whips and chains excite me. That, ladies and gentlemen, from Joe Sapiens. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? And that, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like it's a spanking crowd here. We got a few sticks in the mud, a few people that don't like a good swat. Don't know what's the matter with them, but oh boy. That's the point, Silvana. She says it usually hurts. It's supposed to hurt. That's why they call it a spanking. It's late night in the heartland. And I want to thank you for making my day. Wow. You people. Let the spanking commence.